Iran's power grid goes down as Trump is advised to take the powerful and strategic Kharg island. The Islamic regime began imposing scheduled blackouts throughout Iranian territory, just as a new wave of US attacks hit Buxar, Shabahar, Jask, Konarak, Abu Musa, and Bandar Abbas.
Look at what happened here. It wasn't. I swear to God it's a jet. That's not true. I swear on electricity. Really? God is my witness, I swear. Darling, 7 people. Swear to God. Well, God knows 8 so far. It's a cow. It's a cow.
The state-owned company Tavani started announcing the cuts 2 days in advance and asked for at least a 10% reduction in consumption. Because the heat in the south can exceed 50 degrees and the demand is expected to surpass 75,500 megawatts. At the same time, former commander of the United States Central Command, General Frank McKenzie, argued that Washington should consider taking Kharg Island, a center that handles nearly 90% of Iran's oil exports. The possibility has already been discussed by American authorities as a way to target the source of money that keeps the regime running. More than 50,000 United States military personnel remain deployed in the Middle East. The American pressure advanced along a coastal strip related to naval defense and Tehran's ability to threaten ships. The power grid exposes an even deeper weakness. The system was already struggling with old power plants, lack of investment, equipment loss, and consumption above its real capacity. The war accelerated the problem. Information attributed to Iranian authorities points to thousands of damaged sites and the loss of thousands of megawatts.
Record the boy's actions on Zay's floor. Hey, Zay.
With summer increasing consumption and temperatures topping 50 degrees in the south, the government decided to share the energy shortage among cities, industries, and services. The schedule set 2 days in advance confirms that the blackout is no longer an accident and has become a national emergency policy. The crisis reaches the population first. Homes are left without cooling, water pumps may stop, businesses lose goods, and factories reduce shifts. The industry faces rationing of up to 2 days a week. Every hour without power reduces production and increases the cost of recovering an aging grid. That's where Kharg becomes the focus of the pressure. The island serves as the nation's main oil export terminal. Axios reported that the site handles nearly 90% of the crude oil exported by Iran. In March, US officials admitted that Trump considered taking the island if Tehran continued blocking maritime traffic. The White House said that no decision had been made, but described Kharg as a possible economic blow capable of cutting off the regime's funding. Frank McKenzie brought that possibility back into the debate. The general stated that the United States has the capability to control the Strait of Hormuz or the Kharg terminal. For him, real concessions only appear when pressure directly threatens the survival of the regime. Taking Kharg would have a clear objective: to control Tehran's cash flow. Iran depends on oil to obtain foreign currency, finance imports, and sustain the state machinery. Iranian oil minister Mohsen Paknejad stated on July 14 that exports continue normally even after the cancellation of a temporary authorization linked to United States sanctions. The statement tries to show resilience, but it also reveals why the island is so sensitive. If sales continue, Kharg still gives the regime breathing room. If the terminal is closed or controlled, the economic pressure rises dramatically. The economy is already close to the limit. The International Monetary Fund projects a contraction of 5.4% for Iran in 2026 and inflation of 68.9%. This means loss of purchasing power, a weakened currency, companies unable to plan, and higher reconstruction costs. The bankruptcy is becoming visible in practical terms. The regime remains armed, but delivers less energy, less stability, and worse living conditions. The resumption of the maritime blockade increases this pressure. The goal now is to prevent Tehran from using its ports normally without closing the passage. The passage of ships that do not violate the blockade. The aircraft carrier George H.W. Bush reinforces the campaign. The ship has been in the Central Command area since April, and American sailors have carried out flight operations in regional waters in recent days due to United States refueling planes also remain at Ben Gurion Airport in Israel. The movement shows that Washington maintains the means to sustain missions for longer periods. Witnesses said they heard aircraft over cities in the central and southern regions. Trump is applying pressure on two fronts. The military force is destroying radars, coastal systems, drones, boats, and missile positions. The economic pressure is closing ports, threatening oil, and turning cargo into a possible bargaining chip. An occupation of the island would require troops on Iranian soil. Tehran needs to finance the war, repair infrastructure, contain inflation, maintain public services, and prevent social unrest at the same time. The order to reduce electricity consumption by 10% shows that there isn't enough energy to get through the summer normally. Kharg shows that a large part of Iranian revenue goes through a single, vulnerable point. The choice left to the regime is a bitter one. If it keeps closing the Strait of Hormuz and attacking ships, the chances of losing Kharg, suffering new attacks, and seeing the blockade tighten increase. Backing down preserves part of the economy, but destroys the image of strength used by Tehran to control its population and intimidate the region. Thank you very much for watching this video until the end. Support our project and contribute financially through the Pix details that appears on your screen. We are an independent channel focused on bringing you the truth. Your contribution helps us keep going. Thank you.